Welcome back to the Coach Michael Stone and Daily Discomfort YouTube channel. It's been a hot minute since we've been on here. I think I posted for about a year straight and I just lost the passion for it. It was one of those cases where, you don't see a whole lot of feedback based on the work that you're doing. And I also don't think that that's why you should be doing the work as well. But I'm here now, back more in line with who I want to help and how I want to help. And that is men who struggle to balance high performance with their mental well-being. And this brings forward many different moving parts with it. But what I'm going to begin with you, the viewer watching today, is highlighting a concept called the window of tolerance. Now, this concept was brought to us by Dan Siegel, who was, I believe, to be an American psychiatrist. And it pretty much conceptualizes the idea that we have a certain window where we operate functionally, where we can regulate our emotions well, meaning we can be present with them and they don't overrun us. And within this window, we're actually in a parasympathetic state. When we move out of this window, we pierce the ceiling, we move into fight or flight, which is our sympathetic state of the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. Now, what can happen as well is that if we spend too long up here, or if we go up there with a very intense experience or event, a traumatic event, then we can plummet back down through the floor and go into shutdown or freeze mode. Now, I think understanding the nervous system in this way gives you a good tool to create awareness around how you react to certain situations in your life. And I think awareness is the first tool or the first ability that we need to create, because once we have awareness, once we can see what's there and understand a little bit more about where it's coming from, what's getting triggered, then we know what we can start to work on. And then comes in the deconditioning of maybe certain beliefs that we have about ourselves, deconditioning the subsequent patterns and resulting habits that may be holding us back from high potential, or at least feeling more satisfied with our quality of life, quality of relationships with ourselves and with other people around us. So if you're a guy still wondering, what the fuck is he talking about? Let's talk about working within your window, yeah? So let's say you go to work, you're sitting within your window of tolerance, you're feeling quite rested, quite calm. The boss amps up, the boss yells, but you respond in a calm manner. They've asked something of you, no problem, I'll get the job done. Versus maybe you haven't had enough sleep the night before. Maybe you had a big fight with your partner. Maybe you've got other stresses going on. So you're already starting to hit towards that ceiling, and then your boss getting angry at you just pierces you through the roof, right? Sky high. Now, if you're someone who knows that you can do something about this, and that's been your response in the past, is to fight back, you might yell back at the boss. Now, hopefully, if you're someone who's response in the past was to fight in a physical manner, hopefully you don't start throwing hands, but it is a possibility. So the best way I've had that explained to me is that with a fight response, it's when we know we can do something about it. So we're going to fight, and that could be words and that could be physically. Even a response, I guess, with fight as well is that you respond to the demands and you get to the task, but you're in a very stressed state. You're in a anxious or very heightened state whilst you are meeting these demands. Now, with a flight response, in this individual context, we could say that the boss yells at you, tells you that you need to do this, or you fucked up, whatever it is, and you run out of the building. You're just getting away from it. It's all become a bit too overwhelming. You had that argument with the missus the night before, you can't handle it, so you get the hell out of there. You get up out of Dodge, you go for a drive. For some people, maybe it's you going to the gym, going to have a workout, or you're going for a run there. There's still an element, I think, of fight in that, but you're also running away. You're flying from the situation, flight. Now, let's hope this doesn't happen. Let's say you go to work you're in a heightened state already. Again, you've had your argument with the missus the night before. You're quite stressed out. And you walk in to the office and the manager calls you out in front of everyone, the whole office, and ridicules you. And everyone starts ridiculing you. The stuff of nightmares, right? Everyone is judging you and you feel like the outcast. You don't know whether to run. You can't yell back. There's so many people. You don't want to fight. And so you just shut down. You completely switch off. You go numb. It's like a static TV up in here. You can't even tell what emotion you're feeling and you just shut off completely. Now, this is just an example of the man who's had the argument with the missus and he's gone to work and his boss wasn't happy with him. There's plenty of other times that you could apply this, but what we're trying to get across in the message here is that here's you operating within your window. You can deal with some stresses. You can deal with some getting angry at you and you feel quite stable. You feel calm. You might feel a little bit of anger towards the person. You might feel a little bit anxious. You might even notice the need to withdraw or shut down, but you manage to keep yourself in that state and you respond. You don't react. You're not trying to fight. You're not trying to run away and you're not shutting down completely. So what we want to focus on is actually making more of life within this window. Now, the other point I want to get across is that how quickly can we return to this? Because we are designed to go into fight or flight mode. When you go into the gym, if you're doing some sparring rounds or if you're lifting some heavy ass weights, doing a squat or a deadlift, whatever it may be, when you are lifting the weights, your body needs to activate. It needs to mobilize. It needs to utilize energy to complete the task at hand. Now, what happens if you go to the gym and then you go straight home after and you're in an argument, then you go back to work and then your boss is yelling at there all the time and you're always in this fight or flight mode here? We need to work on your ability to come back down from each of these situations. Now, one of the best tools that we have for that is breath work, because that's how we directly affect the autonomic nervous system. That is our remote control. That is how we toggle between these heightened states, and we can even use it to pull us out of these shutdown or these freeze states by activating the nervous system, re-entering the fight or flight, and then dropping us back to our baseline or within our window of tolerance. So, if you're still listening here now, ask yourself, what are the points in your life where you feel like you get thrown up through the roof, you're in fight or flight mode? How much time do you spend up there and how do you react? What does that look like for you? It could be the boss getting angry. It could be your employers not doing their jobs. It could be your missus getting angry at you. It could be any sort of experience that makes you feel erratic, panicked, enraged, any heightened emotions where there's a lot of energy involved. And on the opposite end, are you someone who struggles with motivation? You feel low energy a lot of the time. You feel like that maybe even if the missus is going off at you or the boss is yelling, you just don't really budge too much. You're just in that shutdown, in that freeze state. You're finding it hard to activate and mobilize energy to get shit done. What instances in your life lead to this? Or is that your chronic state? And the same with fight or flight. When you've pierced the ceiling, is that your chronic state? Do you wake up anxious about the day? Do you go to sleep thinking about the day and what needs to happen to the next day? This is where we need to learn to re-enter, to drop back into that window, into that parasympathetic state. Or if we're stuck down and freeze, we need to learn how to activate, mobilize ourselves and operate into this state. And sometimes that means we've got to go into a heightened mode of activation, fight or flight. And again, we could use something like breath work. So to give you an actual tool to use from this video here today, if you are someone who tends to notice that you're in fight or flight mode a lot of the time, what I would recommend is some slower breathing techniques. You've probably heard of it before, box breathing, which is an equal inhale, exhale, and hold at the top and the bottom of the breath. You could even use triangle breathing, which is going to be an equal inhale, you'll hold at the top of the breath, and then an exhale, no hold at the bottom. Or you can also flip that triangle, but I would recommend doing the former technique. Another great technique, coherent breathing, 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. If you can do this even twice per day for 5 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, 6 breaths per minute with that rhythm, and then another 5 minutes in the evening, that's going to be a great way for you to down regulate, to shift back down from fight or flight into rest and digest. Now, if you're someone who struggles to mobilize, struggles to activate, you always feel flat, you always feel like you're in that shutdown, in that freeze mode, the static TV, you feel disconnected from your feelings, your emotions, and just demotivated a lot of the time, you can benefit from some more activating breath work. Insert something like your Wim Hof breathing. This is going to be some faster breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. It could be in and out through the mouth. We're mimicking that fight or flight mode, that activation. We're trying to pull you up and then we drop you back down with some slower breathing. So if you find you're sitting at home, maybe you've got something on that afternoon or evening and you're just feeling really flat, or maybe you just feel flat waking up in the morning, rather than just reaching for your coffee, I'm not saying you can't, try some more activating breath work. Put on a Wim Hof video. There's another technique called conscious connecting breathing, which is just another form of cyclic hyperventilation, faster, controlled breathing. And usually with these videos on YouTube, there's going to be some breath holds as well. Now, I haven't got many. I may have one private listing of a YouTube video when I do my men's breakthrough breathwork sessions, just something that they use leading into that. However, I'm going to be posting up more breathwork tutorials online for anyone to use, but specifically I want to help bridge the gap, bridge the divide between men and breathwork, between what challenges they are facing and how much of a fucking awesome, a powerful tool that breathwork is to help them manage this. And it is highly specific to this concept that we're talking about today, because again, it is our toggle between the nervous system. For those who feel stuck, they feel shut down, and for those who are always running away from something or always feeling like they're in fight mode, it is our tool to get us back within our window of tolerance. There'll be sure to be a little bit more content on this in future. Leave any comments if this video helped today, and feel free to go look into this more from the man himself who explained it, Dan Siegel, Window of Tolerance. There's going to be plenty of other videos online, but let me know if that helps out, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next YouTube video. Feeling a little bit rusty with this stuff, and I'm in freestyle mode today, but I'll probably drop you. I'm on Instagram at Coach Michael Stone and at Daily Discomfort AU. If you're local to Brisbane, or if you even want to join our Discord chat, we've got a free membership running until the start of June. So you just message me at Daily Discomfort AU or at Coach Michael Stone, and I'll send you or point you in the right direction so you can start enjoying our awesome community that we've put together to help men improve their physical, mental, and emotional capacity and build brotherhood.